Good afternoon. And again, before starting, I invite you to join with me in just being present. Feet on the ground, listen and look. And then beyond the describable things that you see, let your looking stretch to the invisible, and your listening stretch to the silent. You don't have to exclude the visible or the audible, but just let your listening and your looking expand beyond them, so that you see the visible within the invisible, and the audible, and you hear the audible within a background of silence. It may sound complicated, but I hope you can see it's actually very simple. I have a question from John from the United States, on isolating words of emotion. I write you as many to ask a question. I'm currently having a problem speaking in any way that is enriched by one's own emotions. It would seem that I'm entirely devoid of being capable of isolating and expressing through my writing how I feel. As when I place the emotion into a word, it seems a hollow reflection of that. Worse yet, it seems as though my emotive writing is a mockery of those emotions which I thought to have captured. It's hindered my ability to form connections with people, and I'd like your thoughts on how to best overcome this challenge. As an effect of this, most of my writing is stilted, structured, and very brittle. Dear James, when I read this question of yours, I thought, that's just up my street. Those of us with an emotional temperament may well encounter such conditions. But with the wisdom of hindsight, I see it all now as a blessing. How do we express deep feelings? I suspect that just about every artist, every real artist that's ever lived has felt much the same way. How can one express beauty in a mere painting, or music, or writing? How? When your heart is bursting with love, when emotion is too great to contain and you break down in tears, or reduced to silence, how can you possibly capture that and put it into a mere human artifact? called art. Even the greatest artists, I suspect, have felt inadequate to the task. And as they've matured and delved ever deeper into the wonder of creation and what the human heart is capable of feeling, how on earth does one express it? So it seems to me that what you are experiencing is a very healthy realization that you can't do it, which is an excellent preparation for being humble. And it's not only emotion. Who knows how to control this coronavirus, for example? Who knows how to control world finance? Who knows how to control human behavior? Who knows how to put hair on a bald head or make someone love you when they don't? There's a lot we don't know. How can you stop getting old and dying? So you're in good company, James, among those of us that don't know what to do. Yes, how often we use the word love. How often the little phrase, I love you, seems totally inadequate. How can we possibly express it? Worse yet, my writing is a mockery of those emotions. Well, dear, if you take them too seriously, if you expect that you can achieve the impossible, then you're going to be disappointed. You'll be humbled and brought down. You'll see that your efforts are a mockery. And you'll tear your paper up and throw it in the bin in disgust. Like I suspect almost every writer that's ever tried to write anything has done countless times. It's a mockery of what you really feel, which I thought to have captured. Ah, you see, that's the trap, capture. How do we capture a sunbeam? How do you capture beauty? How do you capture tears? How do you capture the great drama of life? Whenever we try to capture anything, we limit it, don't we? We're going to put it in a little box. And how can the great be contained in the small? You see, that proves the falsity of trying to capture anything. You can't. The essence of life is freedom. You see, standing here in this presence, the water of the river flows unhindered, doesn't it? There's hardly a breath of wind today, but there's the slightest breeze. Look, the breeze moves the nettles unhindered. Look, my hand can move unhindered within this freedom. The essence of life is actually freedom. And the deeper you go into the essence of life, by which I mean the spiritual background to life, the more you'll realize this freedom. And realize that the human condition is bondage. So when you're trying to capture great emotion, it's really like, You're trying to bring it within your own prison. Hindered my ability to form connections with people. Well, it does, doesn't it? I've always been a total failure with people. I've always thought that. Very, very rarely do I feel satisfied. I always feel embarrassed after these videos. I asked Phil, was it all right? Because I worry that I've made a mess of it. It's been a failure. Maybe that's just me, but it's better, it's better to be humble than to be proud. It's better to feel that way. Oh, that was a hell of a good video. That's going to change the world, isn't it? How awful if I thought like that. No, it's much better, dear, to denigrate your efforts and to feel a failure, to feel that you're not up to scratch, then you could do better, then you'll keep trying. And, you see, the real secret is when you and I stop trying and you do what I tried to do at the beginning of this video, you see, which is to surrender any effort to control or try or do anything, and you rest in this presence, which is the real doer. This is the generative, active principle of life. That is the real doer. See, this is it which governs the movement of the waters behind me. It governs the grass, the soil, the movements of the insects. Look at the little flies buzzing around on a warm evening. Movement of the clouds. All the ebbs and flows of creation, and you and me in the midst of it. See, it's not, we don't control it. We don't run the show. It's when we surrender to this greater authority that we begin to get confident. See, the less of me, the more of God. That's the secret. And then you see, if I say anything worthwhile on these videos, it's because I try. I don't say I succeed, but I try to be connected, or at least not too far away from this presence. And then hopefully something of that is conveyed. As an effect of this, most of my writing is stilted, structured, and very brittle. Just imagine if I was trying to make a video without relation to this presence. It would be, as you say, stilted, structured, and very brittle, and wouldn't be worth anything. So, dear, I think this is a very good letter, and I think you're a very fortunate young man to be recognizing that you can't do it. And I hope you never can. But I hope you'll take notice of what I say and learn to surrender your own efforts to the one who can. And that you'll find that real art, and many of the greatest artists of all kinds throughout history have attributed their success to the Spirit, or the hand of God, the inspiration, which actually means the allowing Spirit to come into us, which is the true creative principle of life. It's not our doing, it's God's. Good luck, my dear. Learn that lesson, and hopefully you'll write stuff that people will read and perhaps also be inspired by. Yes, that's right. Pass that inspiration on. But to begin with, you've got to connect with it yourself. God bless you and all those listening who try to, in your different ways, produce something worthwhile in life. Even if it's just boiling an egg or cleaning the flat. There's nothing that is not art to the true artist. God bless you all. Till another day.